What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Why You Need series, the series where I convince you or try to convince you for you to get a certain service or a certain product surrounding the world of Apple. If you've never watched any episodes of the Why You Need series, I definitely encourage you to do so. Links in the description for my Why You Need Apple Music, Why You Need an Apple Watch. All of those are linked in the description. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at why you need the Apple TV. Why you need the Apple TV is actually a quite important video because in an era that we have smart TVs that probably already have Apple Music built in, probably already have AirPlay built in, probably even have Apple TV Plus built in. What is the point of an Apple TV? So the way that this video is going to work is I'm going to start off by telling you what's new with the brand new Apple TV 4K. Then I'm going to tell you the awesome features that the Apple TV has. And at the end, I'll tell you a bonus feature that is honestly my favorite. I use my Apple TV every single day, whether I'm watching a movie, whether I'm listening to music, or maybe I'm even controlling my HomeKit devices. The Apple TV is simply the perfect companion for all of your Apple devices and Apple services such as Apple Fitness Plus, Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, your iPhone, your iPad. It's an extension of the Apple ecosystem. All right, let's get started. What is new with the Apple TV 4K? Well, first of all, we can now watch content at 4K HDR at a high frame rate. So 4K gives you more pixels, HDR gives you more quality of pixels, and a higher frame rate will provide a smoother experience at 60 frames per second, which simply looks stunning. A tip that I'm going to tell you actually is go on the Red Bull TV app on the App Store on the Apple TV, and at the bottom you'll see 4K HDR. Check out those videos because those videos truly take advantage of this 4K HDR at a high frame rate. The new Apple TV also gets the A12 Bionic chip, which is a pretty fast chip for just an Apple TV, so things will just run smoothly. But most importantly, my favorite new feature on the Apple TV has to be the new redesigned Siri remote. We now get a circular gesture, a power button, the Siri button is now on the side, we now get a back button, and a mute button. So the design has definitely been improved and it's way much more functional now. So that's practically it for everything that's new on this new Apple TV. Definitely the new Siri remote is definitely very worth it, but you can pick it up separately. So if you have the old Apple TV and you don't want to get a new Apple TV, you can simply get this remote. Okay, so now let's get started talking on to the good stuff. What is the point? If you have a Samsung TV that already has Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, and AirPlay, what is the point on getting an Apple TV when you can also, watch streaming service on your Samsung TV or whatever you have? There's quite a lot, and a lot of people don't notice how much and how big of a deal the Apple TV is, at least to my personal life. Let's get started. One of my favorite features on the Apple TV is the ability to connect AirPods or AirPods Max or AirPods Pro to your Apple TV. So if you live on a family, or maybe you live with your wife and your wife has to sleep early and you don't want to annoy anybody that's in your house, you can simply connect your AirPods and it's a very easy experience. Like, just imagine this. Before on the Apple TV, if you wanted to connect headphones to your TV, it was actually a quite complicated process. But now with the Apple TV and your AirPods Max, for example, you're gonna get such an awesome experience. You simply put them on, click AirPods Max, and that's it. AirPlay is awesome on Apple TV for a lot of reasons. It's as easy as simply tapping the Apple TV icon on your iPhone and music will project on your Apple TV. Also for students, I had an Apple TV back in my college, and it was awesome because you could simply AirPlay, your keynote presentation or your Pages document to the Apple TVs. Also with photos, one thing that I do quite frequently is whenever I come back from a trip, I want to show my family the photos of my trip. So I simply grab my iPhone and start scrolling through photos on my iPhone and project them on the Apple TV. Like this, everybody can watch them. You might call me crazy, but Siri is extremely useful on the Apple TV. One of my favorite ways to use Siri is whenever I'm watching a movie and I didn't quite get what the person said on the movie, I can simply ask Siri, what did he say? And Siri will go back 10 or 15 seconds on the movie and will turn on subtitles. Like this, I exactly know what that person said. But of course, you can ask Siri, show me some funny movies. Siri, did Barcelona win last night? Siri, play some music. Siri, how's the stock market? Siri, what's the weather like? And as I was saying before, Apple services truly take advantage of the Apple TV. For example, Apple Arcade. Apple Arcade turns your Apple TV into an actual console. There's a bunch of awesome quality games. I actually quite like SpongeBob game. Don't judge me. I like it. I like SpongeBob. I'm a big SpongeBob fan. Also, Apple Fitness Plus, which is Apple's latest service, which truly takes advantage of the Apple TV. You can work out. There's a bunch of awesome workouts and videos. You know, I've made a whole video about Apple Fitness Plus. I don't really want to talk a lot about it here, even though that it's amazing. I'll link down below my review on Apple Fitness Plus. I just got to say that it's amazing to have it on the Apple TV. Apple Music. You guys know that I'm a huge Apple Music fan, and having Apple Music on the big screen is awesome. Having live lyrics on the big screen. So, you know, me and my girlfriend always sing with, you know, karaoke, and we're always singing with live lyrics on Apple Music. It's a lot of fun, and having Apple Music on the TV, always having music playing around on your living room is an awesome experience. Also, Photos. There's also a Photos app that syncs with your iCloud account. So as I was saying before, if you go on a trip and you want to show your family the recent photos, you've got your entire camera roll. You've got your entire photo library on your Apple TV automatically with iCloud. And the Apple TV can also act as a home hub for HomeKit. So if you have a bunch of HomeKit devices like I do, it actually acts like a hub, which is great. You can also tell Siri to turn off your fish tank, to turn off the lights, to turn on the keys, which is great. It can also give you camera feed notifications. So if you have a doorbell, a HomeKit doorbell, and if somebody rings the doorbell on the Apple TV, you'll actually get a notification on who is at the doorbell. Which, by the way, if you guys want to know of an awesome doorbell that's HomeKit, that's where today's sponsor comes in, which is the Logitech Circle View doorbell. Now, don't skip. I know people tend to skip on sponsored slots. Don't skip. Come on, that's kind of rude. Don't skip. I see you. Don't skip. The Circle View doorbell is the first ever Apple HomeKit doorbell. When somebody rings the doorbell, you'll get a notification on your iPhone or on your Apple Watch, or of course on your Apple TV. It's got a beautiful design. The camera quality is actually top notch. You've got head-to-toe HD video, high dynamic range, and an awesome night vision. So if you guys are interested in the Logitech Circle View doorbell, hit the link down in the description. It is awesome. Okay, now the bonus feature that I wanted to tell you, that it's one that, you know, it's one that nobody can compete with. It's a feature that is extremely simple, but it solves such a big problem that I think we can all agree on. So whenever you want to search on a movie, you want to type in slow, for example, S-L-O, and then you messed up and then you got to erase, right? That's just a very slow process. So with the Apple TV, whenever you have a search bar, you can simply use your iPhone to search something up. And you can also do it with your iPad. For me, that feature alone is already worth it instead of typing it letter by letter. So that is why you need the Apple TV. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Seriously, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
You don't know how much you mean to me, baby. I can't put it in words.